Hi! It's time for this week's question, and it comes from Mary. And she writes, I recently brought my 16-month-old on a holiday, and during the vacation he had to sleep with me in the bed because there was no other room. I had him in a great routine beforehand, and he was going to bed awake and sleeping through the night, but now he screams every time I try to put him in his crib, and it's ruining my life. I tried the cry it out, but he actually managed to jump out of his crib, which frightened me, and so now I've just given up and brought him to bed with me. What can I do? Please help, and do you believe in cry it out method? Well, it's not even a matter of whether or not I believe in cry it out method. I think he wants to sleep with you, and so if you don't let him, he's probably going to cry about that. I mean, it really is his only way of telling you what he wants, and what he wants is to sleep with you. But by the sounds of it, sleeping with you is not the ideal situation, and like you said, it's ruining your life, and it's not a great night's sleep for him either, and so it really is important that you get things back on track. The good news is he used to sleep well, and he used to sleep on his own and through the night. So somewhere in his little self, he knows how to do this. It's just really that he fell off the path, and he kind of ended up in bed with you, and now he's decided that that's what he prefers. So when the child had the skill and they just lost it, it's easier to get it back than to start right from scratch again. So it's not that you're going to have to go through the same thing you went through and it'll be extra hard, but because of his age, 16 months, that does make it a little tougher because it's a toddler, and toddlers have lots of willpower, and they usually let their displeasure be known. So it's going to be a little bit more work. But what I would do, and the fact that he's jumping out of his crib, definitely, you got to keep an eye on him so that he doesn't hurt himself. And so I would suggest that you start with the bedtime, do your routine, put him in his crib, and get him used to sleeping in his crib again and falling asleep on his own like he used to do. But I'd stay in the room. So I'd follow the stay in the room method, and I'd spend 3 nights by his crib. And if he looks like he's going to try to jump out, put his leg up on the bar, just say no a few times, but don't draw too much attention to it. You don't want him to think that, ooh, jumping out really gets a reaction out of mom, because he might start jumping out all the time. So no, you say no, because jumping out's not okay. But then after he does it, just kind of move his foot away, or encourage him to lie down. Try coaxing the mattress and saying, lay down, it's sleepy time. Try not to draw too much attention to the idea of him jumping out. And stay until he's asleep, and then every 3 nights move a little further away until you get yourself right out of the room again. And any wake up, same thing. Although with him, because he has jumped out of his crib, I wouldn't wait 10 minutes before you go in, because in 10 minutes he might jump out. So as soon as you hear him in the night, go in, sit down in your chair, tell him it's still sleepy time, try laying him down a few times, try coaxing him down, and wait him out till he's back to sleep. And again, you'll find that the crying will be less because you're still there. You haven't left him alone. He'll probably want to be in your bed, so you'll have to deal with that issue. But if you just keep repeating that it's sleepy time, that he needs to stay in his crib, he definitely will go back to sleeping well in his own crib. And to keep in mind for traveling. I mean, I know it can be tricky and costs a bit more, and there's all kinds of things to take into consideration when you travel, but really you gotta watch out for that. If you share a bed with him every time you go somewhere, you could be starting all over every time you get back. I always suggest to people that you try to keep things as close to home as you can, which means, if he's got his own space at home, he should definitely have his own space when you travel. And, that's meant we've had to find one-room suites when we go away and put all the kids in one room, and maybe we sleep out on the hide-a-bed. But I just know that, those are the little sacrifices I have to make in order for my children to continue to be good sleepers even when we travel. And try not to overschedule yourselves when you travel. You know, a few days of missing naps and going to bed too late, you can create a situation where your child's so overtired by that point that, you know, he might just howl all the harder at bedtime because he's so tired. So keep your consistency the same when you travel. Try to keep the environment the same when you travel. Don't bed share when you travel. And he should be a good traveler. You shouldn't have to keep going. You shouldn't have to go through this again. Okay, so good luck with that, Mary, and sleep well.